All right, good morning, everybody. Should easily get this done before Cup Series practice and qualifying starts. I'm considering going live tonight around like 6 for the Cup Series show, or I'll do it in the morning tomorrow. I'm still deciding, not entirely sure, but I think it'd be easier to do it this evening, so at least people will watch it, so it's not just like, so it doesn't stand a chance against all the NFL stuff. But I'm still not sure about that. When we look at this race here for the Xfinity Series, it is one where I view this as a race that if I was going to enter a lot of lineups, they would probably all be very similar. And the reason I bring that up is I'm just going to try and save myself some money here and not enter a ton of lineups. Because if Cole Custer or Nemechek ran into an instant, I would just lose all that. I'm playing, so I'm probably gonna do very little lineups today. Maybe like currently I have two. I'm really trying not to push myself past that because I gotta move and pack and everything over the next couple weeks. So I'm like, do I really just want to throw away $150 on an Xfinity Series slate to where we're just gonna have a big one in turn one at some point? It's gonna take out at least probably three of my popular plays. But right now, I find it between Barry and Custer. I would prefer Cole Custer. Okay, I would play when we look at averages. Yeah, sure. Barry has the highest average, and we see Custer right next to him. And we see it's pretty identical. Now, this can be negated by some random one-off laps from each of them. When we look at Custer, he actually ran more lap time, so that brings his average down. Like, in my opinion, that's why we see such a massive difference in the average speed between these two fellers, because Barry didn't really run any laps compared to, I mean, he ran like 12 in total. But when we look at Custer actually going deep into a run and not making as many drastic not changes per se, but actually like running when the tires are falling off, I would prefer to see that over Barry. When we look at Barry and Custer, it's showing that pretty much identical speed to start the run, pretty much identical speed in the 10-lap run. We have to assume that it's going to be Custer and Barry side by side all day, and I think it's really going to depend on just their track position between those two individual drivers. Like if Barry can get a good restart or restarts, if we have a lot of wrecks in stage one or whatever, Barry has the chance to just lock down he has a chance to lock down the running position of first, just due to the fact that these guys are so similar in terms of speed. I think it's whoever gets to lead is probably going to end up holding on. Because when I look at this, I don't see anything specifically pointing at Custer having the ability to get around Barry. I mean, I wish he would have ran a 15 so we could see, but these are very, very much identical speeds. With Cole Custer being slightly faster, but even then, you have to be slightly faster. You gotta get on his inside. You gotta make him have a bad corner. Probably specific. If a pass is gonna happen, it's most likely gonna happen in 3 and 4. And I don't know if Custer has that ability to absolutely just fly by him. I think these guys are very, very even. I would just lean Cole Custer because I would have more, not faith, but belief that he's not going to have as many variables hinder him in terms of pit lane, which Barry runs extremely well at Las Vegas. This is one of Barry's better tracks, but I am going to be on the Cole Custer side on that today. So yet again, if Cole Custer has a bad day, my fucking lives are just dead. That's just how it is. I'm playing Nemechek. I don't think we really have to talk about this a lot. I will, however, because I'm sure there's people who be like, why, you were talking no place differential last week and at a track where you probably should have. Now you're just going to, yeah, of course I'm going to just follow Nemechek. Dude, some bitch starts last. Fantastic speed. Best car on track. First off, it wouldn't even matter. We would see Nemechek, or I would be playing Nemechek if he had the 8th fastest car here, just because this Xfinity Series field is wide. I mean, look at these average speeds. Look at the drop-off. Jeez Louise, boys. This is like a 10-mile-per-hour drop-off between the entire field. And so when it's a top driver in the Xfinity Series, you just play him regardless and move on. And so Nemechek clearly has the best car. Clearly has the best long-run car. I don't see him having any issue going through the field unless he is involved in an incident. And so for me, I would just be playing with Cole Custer, with Nemechek, nearly all the lineups, and I'm going to be doing that in my 2 or 3 or 4. However I do, I'm just going to have all Cole Custer, all Nemechek. And so at that point, I'm building with 4 guys, okay? And it really starts running out of steam when we start looking at the other plays that we probably have to go to. Like, look, I'm not the biggest Raja Caruth fan, okay? But when we look at what Alpha Beta Prime has been giving this dude the last few weekends, seeing, averages, well, not averages, seeing 19th, 17th, 29th, 16th. Sure, he has a 37th place finish, but 25th, 26th, 26th. If he's finishing in the mid-20s, and we got to go all the way back to the Production Alliance Group 300 at, I don't even know, what was that, Atlanta? Maybe it was Vegas, don't really remember. But I'm more so paying attention to what he has been running in the month of October and in the month that is before October, which I just can't remember off the top of my head. Alpha Beta Prime has been showing more speed, specifically for Raja. I'm assuming that they're just pushing him into everything. Like, we have Daniel Dye, and like, Ellis does nothing week in and week out. Daniel Dye is not going to do anything. Raja Caruth has the ability to go from 35th to finishing mid-20s. At that point, the 30 points is going to be a bit difficult for him to hit, but if he can not even bounce back, because we saw that he just had a horrific Q lap, okay? But if Raja Caruth can finish, what do I have him projected for? I'm giving Raja 23rd. But even at like 26th, 25th, he's not killing a lineup. Anything better than that, I think he's going to argue to be probably one of the better value plays in the 6K range, or just better like point per dollar plays in general. Like, if he scores 30 points on the slate, he's probably going to end up being a probably top 11, top 12 value play, if not a top 7, because I don't think we're going to have a lot of people hit value here, and so I think we're probably going to be forced to try and play Raja Caruth. And so yet again, going back with Custer, Nemechek, Raja Caruth. Well, now we're just building with 3 guys, okay? The next one that pops up in my head is that I think is going to be popular is Myatt Snyder. Starting 19th in the Joe Gibbs car. Like, I was playing fucking Joe Graff Jr. in this exact situation earlier in the year. Myatt Snyder has the ability to easily hit near 40 points, and that's really all we need from him here. And I think it's going to end up being... I think a lot of optimizers are probably going to end up jamming in Myatt Snyder, Raja Caruth. At least, I'm trying to understand that they would probably end up doing that. And so I think we have Raja Caruth, Myatt Snyder, Nemechek be very popular. And then most people are going to play 1 or 2 of Barry and Custer. And so this is a real, real chalky build. So yet again, kind of going back, if I was doing a lot of lineups, they'd all be very similar. It'd be like 1v1s on nearly all the lineups. And so I'm like, do I just really want to do that? I kind of don't want to deal with having Custer crash and then just burning $200 or whatever. And so when I'm looking at guys that I want to try and get to that are different or that build differently and stuff, we typically see, let me even bring this up. When we look at Las Vegas in the Xfinity series, maybe I'm just remembering, or maybe I'm just biased to remember this, because I typically recall more of the races that I have people get wrecked in that I have versus not. Let's go ahead and take a look at the... Is this going to move again? No, it's not. Let's take a look at Las Vegas last just 5-ish races. Also, I didn't do a Las Vegas Xfinity series video because nobody watches that stuff anyway. I barely get any views on the live shows, so there's that. But this is what I do in the week anyway. But when we look, let's just use last 4 races here. Pretty much know which race was this? This was last. I want to go in order here. Should be 21. Okay, so when we look at the spring race, we pretty much have. What the hell is this, dude? Stage 2 concludes. Okay, well, we're running out of text here. What are we doing here? This race goes green. We have very, very little movement in the back of the field. We have a lot of guys in the 30s finish here. We have a lot of guys. We have like decent plays in the 20s, but still not really do anything. Like Jeb Burton goes from 24th to 14th. We really don't have any similar plays like that in this race. Nearly everybody's starting where they should. In my memory, and I'm probably misremembering, because I remember it had to be the spring race of last year. This is the race I'm remembering, where it took out a lot of popular plays and stuff. And the reason why I'm looking into this real fast is because I think Joey Gaze makes a lot of sense. Yeah, see, I'm thinking of like I guess like 3 and 4 races ago. We've had the last 2 races go pretty green. Anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I think the plays to get somewhat different, a different build or whatever, or at least not even different, but understanding what the goal is. That's Joey Gaze at $4,700. This is if you're paying up for literally everybody you love. I like Joey Gaze. I like Brennan Poole. Smithley DNQ'd for JD, and so they need him, which I don't understand what the heck is going on with JD. I don't know if I don't understand the JD Motorsports cars this year, because let's go back. Let's look at the 4. That's what Poole is in. Actually, he's in the 6. Let's just find one real fast. Hold on. That's the wrong. I want to click that. Because I've played Brennan Poole in like every. Is he in this race? I'm gonna be annoyed if he's not. Yeah, so like I've played Brennan Poole in like every race this year for a value play to end the lineup and stuff, because I just don't. I understand that they're being conservative and not wanting to tear the car up, and that's why we play these individual drivers. But look at all these instances to where Poole starts in the 30s, and he hasn't been priced up on DraftKings at all. He's outside of Texas. Poole gains you like 9 place differential points in every race. I probably X'd out of it with Smithley, but Smithley's the same. He's the same way, to where like when they just I don't remember which one I was on. Like Poole and Smithley, you just play like every week, like when they start here. So I would assume that Poole carries ownership, because like you have to project him to finish like 23rd, 24th on speed. At that, he's paying his price tag off. He's probably the most popular like 5K play. Outside of that, it'd be Josh Williams, but I'd much rather play Poole over Williams. I'd rather take the discount that I get on Joey Gaze than playing Josh Williams. And so we run to a race here to where we have Barry and Custer that are going to be 1 or 2 played in lineups. We have Nemechek, we have Snyder, we have Raja Caruth, we have Brennan Poole. Like, where else do you go with your lineups? Like, what? Like, yeah, sure, you can pivot and play, Moffitt. You can play Casgrala. You can play like Jeff Burton, I guess. But like this race here, I just don't see a lot of routes unless we run into a crash that takes out certain people that are going to like bump more people into the playing pool, or like into the build you play with. Like I think it's pretty set in stone. Creed is a bit concerning to me. I will say this: I will probably not play Sheldon Creed today. A lot of builds will land on him, because you regardless of where you're going, you're probably going to have around $8,600 to $9,400 left on most lineups to be able to get to somebody in the 9K range, and I think Creed is probably going to be the most popular here. I would be hesitant on Sheldon Creed. First off, the speed. Like, I don't see Creed competing for a top 5 in this race, which I don't really want to play him past that. Like, I think a lot of people can very easily have him projected to finish like, I don't know. Like, I'm like 9th and 8th. That's just not gonna do it for me. Outside of that, like, literally announced that, hey, RCR said, "Fuck you, Creed, get out of here." Like that's huge. That almost always impacts the team. I mean, did you guys see him? I know he's like talking with Hill and stuff, but did you guys like see his demeanor in quali in practice? Like, this is Big Dick Creed, man. This is a guy who don't give a shit. He just tears shit up and he's here. Like, now he's like, you can tell it's impacting Creed. So personally, I'm not playing Creed probably for the remainder of this year, which is what, four weekends, whatever the case may be, unless he's place differential. But I'm not going to be playing Sheldon Creed today. But that's that's kind of it. I'll see what you guys are saying. But like realistically, who do you play in this race? Who like you can play a lot of people, but the way that they get there is going to be pretty difficult. Like, am I playing Lane Riggs? Probably not. Starting 8th, probably going to finish around 7 to 11. That's not going to work. Austin Hill, not seeing the speed for him to like actually compete for a win here. So 10-8, that's a bit expensive. Play Brandon Jones to get off a Creed, maybe, but that 700 is going to be hard to come by. You know, starting similar to like starting ceiling wise. Jim Burton starting ceiling wise. Myatt Snyder, not comfortable, but we can see him getting there. Anthony Alfredo, like yet again, these Goombas who think like, oh yeah, sponsorship is gonna come easily. Oh yeah, BJ McLeod just checked in a huge cash or a huge check for selling his charter. Dude, Anthony Alfredo is unsponsored this weekend. Like, we're not playing Dawson Cram. Everybody's losing their mind because DK or Dawson Cram put down a flyer in practice. Well, like when you unload, having to make the race on speed, no shit, you're gonna unload in Q trim. Like, what the fuck, bro? We're not playing him. Kaz Gralla, like, do we see him get towards the 35, 36, 37 points? He's probably gonna end up running here. Does that get him there? Probably not. Like, the reason I'm bringing this up is going back to me building, like, if I was doing 20 lines, I'd probably have a majority of those lines have 1v1s in the lineups or like 2v2s, but I'd be building the exact same way. And I'd probably be trying to get to people who are kind of uncomfortable or weird to get there, like Connor Mozak. That's a guy that I would see myself playing to like get different. I don't envision he's going to have a lot of ownership, but he's slow as fuck. Like, that's always depressing to see. Like, that's why nobody's gonna play him, because he's slow. Who else is there that we could argue playing? Like, we'll use Kaz Gralla for an example. Like, we're looking at good old Kaz. We need him to show up. Like, dude, he's not showing up, man. Oh my lord. Oh my god, that's horrible. That's horrible. Horrible speed. You know, we're always stuck playing like, hey, what about Ryan Sieg? Is he going to stay out on old tires and wreck the field again? Like, just not doing anything. Like this, dude, there's just not a lot of plays today, to be honest with you. I think this is a very, 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 or has a likelihood of being very duplicated in these lineups and stuff. On the contest, only 5,000 people. You don't got to get that different to not be duplicated. But you're going to have to absolutely make plays that are not good on paper to really do anything here. And you're absolutely going to need cautions to come into play for the like chalk plays to come through. That's why I'm saying if we're in a situation where chalk plays run into issues, whether they're wrecking out, whether they're just underperforming, things of that nature. Well, who also benefits? Like, it's not a situation of like, let's say Creed, Mayer, and Jones wreck for whatever reason. Okay, yeah, sure, that's hurting all the people who are playing those guys, and sure, it elevates. You know, might elevate like Kaz Gralla, might elevate like Myatt Snyder, Burton, and these guys, but like it's still not pushed them to being optimal. The people that are being helped in catastrophe situations, or a lot of people running into issues, are the guys in the back of the field. You know, Poole, Joey Gaze. You could argue Connor. You could argue Brett Moffitt. But like, there's not a lot of ways to get different, man. There's not a lot of ways to get different in this lineup. That's also why I'm not saying much. I basically told you the guys that I'm playing here, and then I'm deciding like who's the one idiot I use to end these stupid lineups. Like, yet again, going back, I like Custer over Berry, but I think they are very, very similar plays. I think you just jam in Nemechek. Don't even worry about it. I think you Raja, because this speed is horrific. But I have to imagine they make adjustments on him, because we've seen an increase on his speed lately. If they just fall back to what they've been doing, he should easily have a better car. Because 5-lap, he's 18th. I think that can very easily be turned into like 18th fastest 10-lap run. So he's like 18th in speed. And then 15-lap run, he could be like 22nd or something. He's starting towards the back of the field. And so like I think you just play Raja too, man. So I think you play Raja, Nemechek, like no arguments there. And then you build with your remaining 4 drivers. That's just, I don't know. This is a very, I'm not saying it's not fun, because every slate is is a math problem that you have to figure out. But I think there's just a lot less avenues in this race unless things get like absolutely wild. So let's see what you guys are saying here. What's going on, Matthew? Is Ryan Reed? That is. So I don't know. I had to look it up and I didn't find anything. I also like. So what's his face? Colby Evans. This feller here. Maybe I'm lazy. I don't think this is necessarily lazy, but this feller here who just yaps and yaps and yaps. This guy is so fucking annoying. However, he does streams that I would recommend watching if you. Now you have to get through a lot of shit here. I mean, this is like you put this on 2x and you fly through and you pray that you can get here. I haven't listened yet. I'll probably do this afterward. And frankly, I don't really care. Like, it's Ryan Reed. Like, Reed is getting in the car after not being here a long time. Starting 25th. Like, I'll come back to the video in a second. You know, like 22nd on speed. I mean, that's rough. Ryan, that's rough. Like, dude, oh man. Anyway, the reason I'm bringing this up is I would bet you $100 somewhere in this hour and 1 minute video, Colby Evans explicitly says where MBM is getting this car, this motor, how Ryan Reed got in here. I don't have the fucking time to listen to this guy rant about these fucking losers running last in the Xfinity Series late in the year, okay? Like, all the battles have already been fixed at this point. The major battles at the back of the series is, hey, is Rick Ware going to have their charter revoked from the Cup Series because the 51 is like bottom 3 in owner points again? Don't know. Very difficult for them to get out of that situation now. We'll just see what NASCAR does. Xfinity, back markers, all the guys in the back are pretty much stuck where they are. Like, there's not going to be a lot of massive changes in owner points at this point. So usually towards like the last quarter of the year, I stop listening to his videos because like he talks about back marker battles, and I just don't give a shit at this point in the year. Like, it doesn't, everything's already set in stone. But I guarantee you he says exactly what MBM is doing here. I will say that not necessarily for this race, but we look back at MBM in general. They have been bringing absolutely wild cars. And I don't know if this is Alpha Beta Prime. That would probably be horrific. I would not really like that. But I believe they have 5 cars in their stable. This is just me. Like, there's no inventory list, just in my head. You know, I know they have 2 Fords. I know they have 2 Toyotas that they use for the 13 whenever they need to run that, or like Chad when they run it. I don't know what Chevy car this is. I'm bringing that up specifically because this, they're getting an influx of money from somewhere, somehow, some way in the back. Like, we get Sage Karam here in the Ford car that they have that they typically run whenever, like, a bigger driver wants to run it, and it actually runs pretty decent. We have Hill in the unsponsored car, or actually, this is for Phoenix, and so I'm interested in seeing what they're bringing here. But like, all the cars they've been bringing the last 3 weeks, also including Daytona, have been like good cars. Like, we never see them like actually talking about this stuff. We got fucking Ryan Newman hopping in. I meant to, like, Newman's in this thing. Like, what are they doing? What dirt do they have on somebody? What's going on? And so the reason I'm bringing that up is, I don't know. I can't imagine it's a beta prepared car. Could be. I don't know the story on it. I would, like, this week, I'll just take a step back and I'll look at the lab data after this race to where Ryan Reed is running, because we should be very easy to see what this car's potential is, not on Ryan's skill level, but the fall off that he runs on a 20 lap run, on a 25 lap run. Compare that with the field, compare that with where he's racing, and certainly compare it to what they have been running with recently. So that's that. I'm not playing Ryan Reed because I'm not getting that salary point in these constructions here, but like, Alpha Beta Prime is like horrific, dude. Also, secondly, real fast, like, this is a huge shakeup in the truck series. I was mentioning this earlier, that since GMS was closing down, KBM, who had been opening their doors to preparing more trucks, like they had been preparing Colby Howard's truck as of late, well, they're closing now too. And so you have Spire taking that over. Like, Where are the mid tier guys going to get their trucks from? Get their motors from? Well, I mean it's a spec motor anyway, but like setting up their cars and stuff. Like the trucks is huge. There should be a huge divide. Trucks has a real potential of having an ARCA-esque flow to it, to where you have 9 trucks that are competing in their own environment for the win, and then you have the mid-tier teams being very close, like the back-tier teams at this point. Like that's the stories that I'm very interested to see how it plays out entering next year and stuff. Anyway, what am I doing? Can you play Barry and Custer in the same way? You can. I will not, but I think that is a very viable way. Depends on how people score. Like if you have Nemechek scoring probably 70s, you need Barry and Custer to score both either 60s or 70s, which I don't know how likely that is towards the end of the race. I feel like one of them is going to have an issue on pit lane or something. I think the optimal has only one of them, probably with Nemechek, but I think you could very easily play both of them in cash on this slate. Thoughts on Riggs? Not playing Riggs, starting 8th. That's pretty much where he should end up finishing. Main guys that I should not play, starting 10th to 19th. Yeah, so 10th, or what is that? 10th to 19th that you don't play. You don't play Weatherman. You don't play Clements. You don't play Ryan Sieg. You can make arguments for Burton. You probably don't play Alfredo, so you don't play these 5 guys. And I'm not saying like, oh, we got to play like Jones and Mayer are French plays anyway. You make your own decision on Creed, but I think it's pretty black and white of who's playable and who's not. Andrew, okay, so like he's starting 5th. I don't know, like have we ever here instead of me yapping, acting like I know what I'm talking about? Let's see what he's been doing this year. Because in my head, I'm like, has he ever finished like top 7 in a race on speed alone? So let's go ahead and take a look at this. Take a look at this season here. We're looking for a 7th place finish. That's all I want. That'll make the argument there. Are we even close? Okay, 11th. That race doesn't count. It's a plate race. 6th at Charlotte. Okay. 9th at Michigan. Okay. We have 2 races that he's finished there on speed, outside of plate races and stuff. That's a tough sell. When we look specifically at the intermediates recently, this 11th is good to see. This 13th is good to see. 9th at Michigan is good to see. So let's give him like 9th. Okay, let's go in here. Let me give him like 9th place. So I give Parker a 9th place finish. That is 31 points. So that's down the water. So really any situation I would see, I just don't foresee myself playing Parker Retzlaff at all. Because if I don't believe he's viable at like 9th and 8th, well then I'm sure as shit not going to give him like a 4th place finish or whatever. Like you play Retzlaff when he's starting. I would play him in the teens as well, but like Parker's finishes need to be projected for around 14th to probably 10th in these races. So if he's starting in the teens, if he's starting certainly in the 20s, that's when you play him. But you don't play him when he's starting where he's at today. I mean, well, Reed, yeah. So that's another thing, at least for me, AD, when it's typically somebody hopping back into a car after a long time, I usually just throw all that shit out because I'm throwing out recent history or track history for most drivers anyway. However, like we're both individuals with pretty good noggins. Like, yeah, Ryan Reed was never that good in general, man. So like he's not gonna carry the car anywhere. That's really why, like I said, I didn't waste. I mean, maybe I should. Here, when I finish this race during Cup Series practice, I'll go and listen to this fucking race here and see what great knowledge this propaganda machine given me. But I'd like, dude, there's no way we're playing Ryan Reed today. Go back to Nice being dominant. I don't know. We'll see. Is Brett Moffitt worth playing? So, Moffitt is certainly. I don't know what happened to Moffitt last week. I mean, he ran. I mean, they had a mission box or something happened, but Moffitt has been really disappointing. I've played if this like, bro, come on, race reference. Let's start working here. He's been like wildly disappointed, and it's been even worse performance since they announced that Haley Deegan is coming. Like, why, dude, bro, what is going on, man? I'll tell you what, I got Xfinity 10G internet, and this bitch is slow as fuck, bro. This is, I mean, like, dude, every internet provider sucks, but I'm like, as an Xfinity internet user, it is nothing special here. Like, this inconsistency is just boggling my mind. I don't understand what is going on here. I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand it. Like, so in answering your question, is Moffitt very viable? Yes, indeed. Very much so. At $7,800, starting 27th, should finish 13, 14, 15, somewhere around there. I will probably end up playing Moffitt today, but this has been incredibly tilting. We know the potential here, and then he'll just have like just an average race, good race. I like even last week, yeah, the ignition was an issue, but like, well, this doesn't really count because this is a place differential play coming through. But it just, I play Moffitt nearly every weekend, and I feel like he just never hits my expectation of whatever, or he'll just like luck into finishing well in some of these races. Like I feel like Kansas had a late race yellow. Oh, he went green 50 laps. Well, I don't know, man. I just feel like, yeah. Answering your question, yes, Moffitt is very viable, but like, I don't know, man. A lot of issues going on with this team. I can't put the finger on it. He'll be fast. He'll show speed in practice. Doesn't replicate that same speed in the race. Does well in a late race, or does well in the last quarter of the race to get there. I don't know. Man, I really am just rambling today. Anyway, yes, Moffitt is very much in play. Your live show is the only one I ever get commercials. Well, that's because I have that on because I need to make ad revenue, and all my shit's monetized anyway. So that might be real shitty. Like YouTube changed their way that the commercials run here or on YouTube. And a lot of people didn't like it because it's like, oh, YouTube's wanting to push more commercials. YouTube's wanting to hurt your audience. And I'm like, I don't think this is me totally having an ego. But I think I have a higher audience retention rate through commercials than like other streams. Like if you're watching like somebody streaming on Twitch and, you know, you run a commercial, you have a high likelihood of leaving. Whereas these live shows, a lot of people will just see the ad, skip the ad, but I still get the ad revenue for that. And so I just crank that all the way. Like I have the monetization so aggressively. Like I have it set up to run an ad every 6 minutes. That is the most you can do on YouTube. And like for example, I can insert an ad like right here. So like I just insert another. So like for me, sorry for you guys, but look, I pay bills with this stuff, so of course I'm just gonna crank the monetization up as high as it'll go. Like I'm Fox covering the Daytona 500. We are having commercials as much as possible. I will, and this isn't just like I have YouTube Premium. I buy YouTube Premium. I think it's worth the $11 a month or whatever because I use YouTube for everything. So I haven't seen an ad on YouTube in like a year and a half at this point. But yeah, I have absolutely cranked the monetization up the most. Also, Carl Long is crew chief for Ryan Ellis instead of Ryan. Well, then, okay, then I guess it is an alpha beta relationship. Interesting. I can't. No, it is because what's his name? Tommy John Martins used Carl Long to put Leland in the car in one of these races. No, remember? Yeah, so probably is an alpha beta prime relationship or help. I don't remember the word I want to use, but it probably is. Let's see. How's our guy at this track? Chandler Smith worth it? It's not even so like. At least for me, like I really don't want to waste time looking at like. Here, let's do this. Let's get this off. So like we have Allgaier here, 10th fast on average. 6, I mean, clearly falling off here. This is a pretty big, not an anomaly, but that's a pretty significant drop off here. Whereas we're seeing that these, like, regardless if this drop off is significant or not, we understand that they're going to make adjustments to make this faster. However, we're already starting way behind the other guys that he's racing with specifically. The only thing I don't like, I'm going to use this to answer your thing. So like, I don't like using track history on these races because this is probably going to make Justin look pretty good. That's Cup Series. Yeah, so like, oh my God. I gotta resubmit this. Oh my Lord. Anyway, I know he's first. Like, he's gonna show was probably the best driver here. I did the same thing again, man. It's gonna make Justin Allgaier be ranked as probably the best driver here at Las Vegas. Now, let me take a look at what SaberSim has this man projected for, because they typically fall into that category of using track history a lot. So, I don't know if this is my projection or theirs. I don't remember. That is mine. I don't want to change that. Let me open up a new tab. Hold on. Open up a new build. Let me use SaberSim. What does SaberSim have him projected for? It probably has to be pretty. Yeah, SaberSim has him for 42 points. That is the second highest projected driver on the slate. Whereas I have him 47, but that's not even close to being the highest projected driver here. They actually still have Nemechek as the highest one. Between Custer and Barry, Cole is slightly. They're both projected for like 35 points, which that's why like this stuff is just useless to use for me. But like Allgaier is going to project the best. I don't even care about his top fives, but just to the sheer amount of top 10 finishes, certainly compared to the field. Like I think Allgaier is probably going to be pushed into a lot of lineups, either on Fantasy Cruncher, SaberSim, and stuff like that. I'm not going to even play him. Like. Just looking at what they're bringing to the track this week. So, like, this is a situation where, and why I don't even bother looking at track history. Anywho, let me see. But yeah, so I'm just not gonna be playing Allgaier today, and that's where it is. Yeah. So Andrew, I apologize when you get a lot of ads here, but I have seen an uptick in the revenue. At least for me, like I don't stream on Twitch, or I don't use Twitch because the payout structure for content creators is pretty poor. Like YouTube is a much better platform, and they're allowing me to make more money on this stuff. As I said, like there's a lot of people watching my stuff. Not a lot, like a lot of people watching that like watch the entire video. So like every time that little ad pops up for like 0.3 seconds, and you hit skip ad. That's all I want. That's all I need. So that's where I'm at. And I think I'm gonna end it there. I think we've about covered everything. Pretty chalky slate. I'm playing Nemechek, I'm playing Cole Custer, I'm playing Rajah Caruth, building with the last 3 spots to try and get different. So best of luck, guys. I'll see you. As I said, I think I'm gonna try and do a live show this afternoon for the Cup Series stuff. Probably after the Xfinity Series race. I think that's the plan right now, because I really don't want to do another one in the morning on Sunday, because those are getting absolutely murdered. So yeah, I'll see you guys probably later this afternoon to talk Cup Series stuff. So best of luck in this race. See you guys later.